guys, Eric here with Joshua. We're talking about Marvel's Access event. Just wrapped up, big storyline. It had heroes acting like villains, villains acting like heroes. And then, of course, it all ends. We think the status quo is being restored. But what happened there? What was the little twist there?
Yeah, when they restored everything, they reversed the inversion. Iron Man puts up a shield, so he remains evil. Havoc was under there too, so he remains evil. And then Sabretooth, who's now a good guy, is also in there. So Sabretooth is now...
still good.
Still good after the post-event. And so that makes me think, you know, Sabretooth, exact same powers as Wolverine. He's got a new costume, looks just like Wolverine's. Is Sabretooth now the new Wolverine?
Right.
Wolverine's dead, by the way.
Yeah, Wolverine is dead.
That's why we're like, oh my gosh, a new Wolverine.
Yeah. Talk about, you know, because we did see a little bit more of Sabretooth after this. Like, what was kind of the note we left him on?
Yeah, it was like he was writing a note. I guess, I don't know if it was a diary entry or like just sort of like a letter to Wolverine, but he was talking.
Letter to a dead friend.
Letter to a dead friend, sort of. Yeah, exactly. Just saying, like, it was really like powerful and emotional. Like, great job to Rick Remender for ending on a strong note for Axis. Of just talking about how he's like repenting for all the awful things he does and wants to do better, like just like Wolverine did. So that like really leads me to believe that he wants to like fulfill like Logan's legacy. You know what I mean?
And you know, look, every time we talk about the death of Wolverine, we always have to make sure to say, yes, we know one day Logan will be back.
Yeah. Save your comments.
Yeah, but in the meantime, and it's something that they kind of love to do now in comics is take out the hero and see what it's like when someone else replaces them for a while. We saw it with Cap, we saw it with Spider-Man. Wolverine's been killed, and there has been this question of like, who will take his place? Do you think now that it is looking highly likely that that is Sabretooth, that he's the right choice for this?
You know, as far as all the characters I'd pick, I'd probably actually pick X-23 if it was my decision, because it's like the clone of Wolverine, which is Wolverine. But it's actually hard to say like what they're gonna do, because there's another series launching early next year called Wolverines, like plural, where Sabretooth, this new Sabretooth, Mystique, X-23, Daken, his son, and Lady Deathstrike, and some other characters are sort of like picking up where Logan left off, you know? So it's sort of like that thing like they did with Batman, like Battle of the Cowl, where they put all these like Batman characters in to see who would be the new Batman when Batman disappeared. And Dick Grayson ended up getting it. But so I'm like, is this sort of going to be like a thing where they're seeing who gets to pick up the mantle? Or, I don't really know much about the series yet, so it's just this big question mark to what they're going to do with it.
To me, it does make sense, though, ultimately, that they're going to position Sabretooth as the guy, just simply from his popularity and how well-known he is compared to anyone else. I mean, like, let's just say it, like, he's been in a couple of movies, and, like, a lot of people know who Sabretooth is.
Remember when he first appeared, he would just kind of, like, roar?
Yeah, he's had some different vocal talents. But then, he's a very popular character. He has an anti-hero. He's had a couple mini-series and whatnot. So to me, it does make sense. It's like, okay, we're gonna pick the guy who is, the person who makes the most sense just on a, copyright, popularity standpoint. I hope they can make it work. I mean, I think, like you said, they already did a good job of showing what a good Sabretooth could be like, and at least there's a story reason he's acting like this.
Yes. And, when Wolverine eventually comes back, when they eventually do bring him back, this is Sabretooth in an altered state of mind. So you just get, like, someone a telepath to switch his head back, or Doctor Strange to go in and snap his fingers, and he'll just go back to being evil. So then it'll be like alive, good Wolverine and bad Sabretooth again.
But, here's what you can do. You have Logan come back, and at first he's like, oh my god, it's Sabretooth, I gotta kill my enemy. Then they have to convince him, no, Sabretooth's good now.
And then they're bros.
And then they're bros until something happens, and then Sabretooth's turn back. And now it's so much more tragic, because now they fought together.
Yes.
Together. See?
Awesome. You should write comics.
Yeah,
I bet Dr. Doom will have something to do with that.
I've read a few. So, going forward, are you now, like, does this excite you, though, to see, this potential new direction for Sabretooth? Knowing he's going to be part of this team, do you think it'll be interesting to see what it's like having him working with these other characters?
I'll say that I'm less excited by the fact that he was had his personality magically swapped to be a good guy. I thought it would find it more compelling for Sabretooth, with no purpose in the world now, to have this like emotional struggle to then become the new Wolverine, almost like against his instinct, because he felt a void needed to be filled. But so I'm not like I'm not like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to read this, but I'm always interested to see if they can tell a good story with it.
Right. I think I'm just waiting for that ticking time bomb thing. You know, someone will switch him back.
Yeah.
We'll see. Let us know what you think in the comments. Are you excited? You know, do you think that this is where they're going? That is Sabretooth the new Wolverine? If so, are you excited by it? Let us know for plenty more on Wolverine, all things X-Men. Keep it here at IGN.